Who do I call if it ain't you? Tell me who to call if it ain't you.
What's up?
How's it go? Oh my god, I love how we have like
Oh my god, it's so
similar
close up.
plant stories
I know.
going on right now. Looking good. How's it going in New York?
It's good. You know,
Yeah.
I don't mind being hooped up, I must say. It's not too bad. It like gives us a reason to get all the things we want to get done.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend earlier yesterday and she was like, this is our ultimate hobby time. Like we can go in on all the hobbies and just churn things out. So
Exactly.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, I think we got a couple people here, so we can go ahead and get started. Hi guys, I'm Priscilla, and today we're hanging out with Cali Brooke Strauss. And I actually met Cali last year. I went to HeyDay, and I was looking to kind of start the process of relieving a couple of like my adult acne scars. And Callie and I immediately just bonded over kind of like the way that she goes about with skincare. So a little blurb on her. Callie is an esthetician who got her start as a skin therapist at HeyDay and has since gone on to build her own studio. She is a firm believer in facials being both relaxing and educational, and guides her clients towards understanding how to take care of their skin at home where the real work happens. So yeah, do you want to kind of go ahead and tell us like a background on your story, like how you got started in skincare? You can start from the very beginning. I've heard it all and I love the story.
So it's funny, you're kind of the first person who really asked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I kind of always, growing up, I was always like super passionate about music. And also I always loved like kind of creating these like deep connections with people. Right before we were talking, I was just thinking about how when I was younger, I'm from upstate New York, and I used to come into the city all the time, and I remember people thinking I was nuts because I would sit with these homeless people and talk to them for like hours, and people would be like, "Where are you?" And you know, it's kind of tough to explain because people think you're nuts, but I would just, you know, I end up talking to these random people for a really long time because I love building that like one-on-one connection. Like I hate bullshit chit chat. You won't find me at like an event. I cannot stand it. So I never planned on this kind of career at all. I just kind of had an epiphany one day. I never knew anybody in this field ever. And I think I went with my mom to an appointment that she had for microblading, which is something that I eventually want to focus on. And I had never been like so sure about anything my entire life. Like I knew that I loved music. I had somehow gotten into this music conservatory at Brooklyn College, but it was not for me. Like it was too mathematical for me. It didn't work for my brain. So I realized I was such a hands-on person. This is like exactly, it couldn't be more perfect. Like I said, like I never had been so sure about anything in my whole life.
Totally.
So I happened to get laid off at a job, and I was like, this is the only time I could possibly afford to be able to go to aesthetic school. Like I had never even considered it. So, you know, when I was unemployed, of course I had my side hustles like we all do. And I went to aesthetic school. And also what's funny is that I was like, I'm never doing a facial again.
Why?
Because like it's so different when you're in aesthetic school. The first time I had a client there, I almost had a panic attack because she was so pissed that we were taking so long, but I was so nervous that I actually walked out and I was like, I can't take her. I was like, I'm not taking her. It's not happening. So I was like, I'm never doing a facial again. But then I was like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I realized I can't just like do cosmetic tattooing. It takes years. So I was like, there is one place that I'll work at, and it was HeyDay at the time, just because it was not in like a very spa environment. It's very like an educational setting, which I really liked.
Yeah.
And so I was there for about 2 years, and I really, you know, as they say, started from the bottom. Now we're here. But like I met people like you.
Yeah.
I met people like you, and just like made those connections. I didn't even realize I was that kind of person, but
Yeah,
I do love
you're
meeting
so
people.
natural at it too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
I love
it.
that story. I think it's so relevant, especially to right now. You know, so many people, I think it's like 6 million people have filed for unemployment, getting laid off right now.
Yeah.
And just hearing that story of like you taking that moment of being unemployed and kind of just thinking about your situation, like what you actually want to do in life, and kind of taking it step by step, even though you worked start from the bottom. You definitely started that whole process. And I mean, it's perfect for right now for people to just like think about that, especially if you have free time to kind of like think about where you are. So I love that, hearing that, especially
me, like
yeah.
I felt like I was the only one who didn't know what I wanted to do, like professionally. Like it really, you know, brought me a lot of anxiety and depression. Like if you don't have a path, like, you know, it's really detrimental to your soul.
Totally.
It's like,
yeah.
And I'm a very
like,
passionate person.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
So it really happened very organically.
Yeah, that's great though. I love that. Also, I wanted to mention, if you guys, Crystal, what's your daily face routine? You can answer that. If you guys have questions, feel free to comment in the comment section, or there's like a little question mark button that you can press as we go through. So yeah, I mean, if you want to answer that question, daily skin routine, face routine for yourself.
I do. Okay, so when it comes to routine, it really is very personal and individual to your, I don't want to necessarily say skin type, but because you can have a certain skin type with skin conditions. For example, a lot of oily skin types don't really nourish their skin well because they're afraid of what they should put on their skin.
Yeah.
So it really differs. That's why I have the consultations. And that's why when I do facial, it's basically a consultation, because I'm talking them through it the whole time. And I need to understand their diet. If you consume a lot of carbs, not saying I don't, you know, sugar, dairy, that's going to show up on your skin. And then also, if I've had like models with the most perfect diet, but their hormones were going haywire. So what I do is I help people break down what is that underlying cause.
Right.
And so I really find that it's actually about consistency, and nothing is a miracle product.
Yeah, I remember when my skin went out of whack, I was like 25, and I've never had acne like in my entire life. And then all of a sudden I developed like adult acne, and it sucked so hard because I was just frustrated. I went to the dermatologist. They advised me to get like all this topical treatment, and I didn't know what the hell I was putting on my skin, but I was just like desperate and frustrated. I cut out like caffeine. I changed my entire diet. I was so strict about like gluten, about no sugar. I mean, I lost a lot of weight.
Oh my God. Wait, so I just the other day I was calling this brand called Skin Medica, I believe they're called, and they're like a supplement brand mainly. And I was looking into these clear skin supplements she had, and she's the director of education there, and she was saying, you know, a lot of people think that they have to cut out gluten, but it's actually the simple carbohydrates that you actually have to cut out.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And that, she was saying, is more detrimental than sugar and dairy. But of course, carbs turn into sugar, so it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I think just even as you just like grow older, like your body changes. So I don't know. But
and that's the cool thing about it, is that like you can see what's going on your skin. You know, I'm not even mad at that, you know, when I have problematic skin, you know, I'm kind of grateful for that because that's your body telling you, you know, get your shit together.
Right. Someone's saying what?
Let help me know. Yeah.
Let's see, what else? One thing I did want to ask you about, like when I first started getting into skincare and like discovering different products, like how do you decipher like what products or what is good for you, since like there's so much marketing out there? Like, I mean, I immediately went to, as a designer and like an aesthetic, visually aesthetic person, like I just go for like stuff that looks really like pretty. But what would be your advice on just kind of like narrowing down what products are good for you?
First of all, you want to know your skin, and if it is very problematic and reactive, there are certain triggers you want to look out for. You also don't want to have way too many products. You want to be able to, you want to be able to keep track of everything that you're using. So when I give people a routine, I say do it one by one, like gradually introduce new products to your skin, because you want to be able to see what your skin is reacting to.
Right.
And also, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. You want to, so, I know what I was going to bring up. So if you're more of a super sensitive skin type, not necessarily acne prone, or some people have inflammatory acne. By the way, 90% of my clients are like adult acne for sure.
Right.
But if you're like a sensitive skin type, there are simple triggers such as like friction on the skin you want to avoid. You don't want to use harsh scrubs. And oftentimes people are like, you know, scrubbing the shit out of their skin when they have like inflammation. And also things just like very hot water, taking hot showers, drinking hot drinks, coffee. So having an acidic diet is huge. Somebody asked, I have sensitive skin, can I use hyaluronic? Hyaluronic acid is great because it's completely water-based, and it basically just binds water to the skin. But some people actually could react to hyaluronic acid.
Oh,
so
really?
If that's the case, not really react, but they're a little bit sensitized to it. Hyaluronic acid is like a fatty acid, so it's not exfoliating.
Right.
But I do recommend beta-glucan instead of hyaluronic acid. It's 20% more hydrating, and it also has anti-inflammatory properties. So you can use it like after an invasive treatment.
Can you say that one more time? What's it?
Beta-glucan?
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Beta-glucan, yeah. So it's very similar, like very lightweight. If anyone wants a recommendation for that, I got you.
There we go.
Yes, somebody asked about birth control. 100%. So some people birth control can help them, and some it can hurt. One thing to note is that process when you're introducing a new birth control or removing it, that's when your skin is gonna hit the fan a little bit.
I definitely went through that.
So
as
just
well.
the removal or the addition definitely is huge. But sometimes if the birth control, it could be causing breakouts, you want to invest in a different birth control for sure.
What do you think about when like dermatologists recommend you go on birth control to control your skin?
Personally, I've never taken birth control in my life. I'm like one of the few. I think there's other alternative methods, like somebody's winning on, somebody said that they, so a lot of people have good responses to it, but she said she's scared to go off of it now. So there are things that you can do to regulate it naturally or holistically. Basically what causes you to break out via hormones are high androgen levels. So when women have their periods, they have high androgen levels, and it makes us overproduce oil. So something like spearmint tea because spearmint in particular is the most anti-inflammatory of all mints. There's been studies on it that after a couple of skin cycles, which is every 28 days, they significantly see a difference in their skin, similarly to like a topical.
Gotcha. Okay. That's
And
good
because
to know.
it's so, it's anti-inflammatory and it brings down androgen levels.
Cool. Spearmint tea, y'all.
Yeah.
One thing that I, or kind of like going off of that, what would you say is like, I guess like the balance between like doing, like having chemicals within your skincare routine versus like going all natural? I feel like there was a moment, especially like a couple of years back, where everyone's like, get all the chemicals out of your skincare, like, and I did that. I went like completely natural, and like it just wasn't helping me until I introduced like chemicals back into my regimen. Like, what would you say, or how can you expand on your cat? Your cat's like chemicals.
So actually some organic products are super active, and because they're not controlled, they can cause a reaction in the skin, or sometimes they're just like, there's like no activity at all. That's not going to do shit.
Yeah.
For instance, aloe has a natural form of, or it has natural forms of salicylic acid, so it could be very active. Yeah. Okay. So I've never reacted to really anything. But actually a few weeks ago I had this aloe cleansing gel from Naturopathica, super granola, natural brand, and my face was not happy. Like, I was like, holy shit. Yeah. But it makes sense.
Yeah. I remember I tried the ancient mud mask, because everyone was like, if you put that on, you add like apple cider vinegar, like that's gonna.
Oh Jesus!
And I tried that. I broke out so badly afterwards. So I think it probably just depends like a lot on your skin, and I don't know. What would you say that? Yeah,
it's so dependent. Like something like that is like a universal product. Everyone probably once owned that or uses it, but they don't really know why. They just think it's like detoxing or whatnot. But really, people, it's actually very drying, and something like that. I mean, if you're not like a super oily skin type, you probably only mainly have excess oil production around the T-zone, which is right here.
Yeah.
And those are the only places that would really benefit from something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So don't.
But like I said, it's like it's so dependent on your skin, like your skin type, skin's needs.
Totally.
And after using a harsh exfoliant or something, or harsh clay masks, serums are always the most concentrated out of any other product, and they have the smallest molecular size, so they penetrate the deepest into the skin. So you always want to follow up with something, a super hydrating serum, because that's where like the real liquid gold is. Moisturizer locks it all in, but your serum's the most concentrated.
I see. Okay. What's like your favorite serum that you usually use?
Beta-glucan.
Okay. There we go.
And actually, so when it comes to acne, here's another fun topic. You really want to make sure you're feeding it nutrients, but like you're not drying the shit out of it. You want really healing antibacterial products.
Gotcha.
So I have a serum that's like a blend of tea tree, arnica, boswellic acid, which is something that some people take internally, orally for acne. And it's just like an antibacterial super healing serum. So I love using something like that when I'm breaking out.
Okay, good to know. Also, what was I going to say? Here we go. Something we were talking about earlier that I thought was just really thoughtful about kind of like the reason why you got into skincare. You explained that some people say you want a quick fix, but ultimately you have to self-reflect on what you do on a daily basis. That's kind of
Yeah.
like going back into just like having like a whole, like looking at your different parts of your lifestyle in terms of like what you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, so it changed my life getting into skincare because I needed a reason to really reflect upon my health. You know,
Yeah,
that might not be the best reason, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Whatever your reason is, that's your personal journey.
right.
And I couldn't be more grateful to have that experience and get to work with people on that. It's such a, um, not precious, but it's such a like personal thing that
Yeah, it
like
is.
you really have to be super genuine and be able to be trusted by people. So I think it's because I'm a Scorpio, I really need that like that trust with people. That's like deep dark secret. Like I'm the
Right.
only one that knows.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. But I think that's like important because especially now that you've gone into kind of like doing your own business, like you stepping away from HeyDay, like that's probably like the best part of your day is just being super intimate with people and like developing those relationships. And I think you were saying that that's like the best part of like why you chose this path, like in doing what you do. Um,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see what else. Oh, I also wanted to ask,
There's a lot
so
of Scorpios in here right now.
Scorpios are coming through. Um,
Scorpios come through.
let's see. If you guys have any questions, now's the time. One thing I also wanted to ask you is what would you recommend, or what are like your go-tos for like drugstore products? When I first started, like discovering different skincare products, I spent so much money just
Yeah.
like buying like expensive shit and I just
Same
didn't
here.
know what to do. Like I said, I went for the pretty things because like I'm just an aesthetic
Exactly.
queen. But what are kind of like your trusted drugstore products that, especially now, since like that's probably the only store that's open right now? Like, what can
Yeah.
we kind of like get our
Yes.
hands on?
So this is what I've been doing in the consultations is recommending all like super affordable drugstore stuff that people could just grab or order online really quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
first off, I always go for the French drugstore products
Okay.
because they're on point. They're
Yeah.
on point. Brands like Avene. Avene is so good for hypersensitive skin.
Okay.
There's never any fragrance in it. Even La Roche-Posay, it's only this year I really started digging deeper into their products, and I'm shocked by how much I like them.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Wow.
And let's see. So then there's a select few others that aren't necessarily by brand, like Bioderma is also great. But I did make a post recently on like favorite drugstore products, and there's this pharmacy in the city called New London Pharmacy, and they're
Mm-hmm.
one of the only places in the city, and it's New York. You would think it's so easy to get, but
Yeah.
they carry like the OG drugstore, French drugstore products.
Oh, nice.
So one is, eventually everybody could start using a retinol.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so recently, yeah, A313, she knows. My skin was like a goddess the next day. I mean,
Really?
these things
Okay.
take time. Yeah, I
I'm
don't
writing
want to
this
get
down.
anyone too excited.
A313. Okay.
I don't want to get anyone too excited because you also want to be really patient with your
Yeah.
skin. Like I said before, your skin cells regenerate every 28 days, so you have to give things time,
Yeah.
especially supplements.
Gotcha.
But that retinol, like if you just buffer it with a moisturizer, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot less likely your skin is going to like react or flake. That did not happen with me at all. It was
Wow.
amazing.
Okay. Nice.
And then there's also a French drugstore product that's like this balm for irritations and burns,
Okay.
and that's also in the post. But a lot of makeup artists would use it on set for models dry chapped lips. I've been using it on my feet, sometimes my butt. No, I did it on my feet and it was like amazing.
Oh, nice.
I just like thought to try it
Yeah.
because they weren't looking cute. I needed to do something.
Yeah. Yo, I feel you.
Oh my God. And it's so cheap.
Okay. How much is it? Like, what like price range is it?
Under 20.
Okay. Nice. There we go. There we go.
Also the double repair moisturizer by La Roche-Posay. Really good.
Cool.
That's like one of the best drugstore moisturizer formulas.
There you go, people. Somebody's asking tips for hormonal acne.
So just so you know, the person who asked what the balm is called, it's in my post. It's like, I just posted it recently with all those French drugstore products. It's the pink bottle. I forgot the name of it. Yes, she's right. Homeoplasmin. Tips for hormonal acne. So there's been a lot of studies done that people with hormonal acne have a zinc deficiency. So there's a specific type of zinc called zinc picolinate or picolinate. I think it's picolinate. Zinc picolinate.
Okay.
And it helps to eliminate P. acnes bacteria, which is the general name for acne-causing bacteria. So zinc picolinate. I also have a suggestion for a different supplement that has a blend that contains that. Spearmint tea, but it has to be consumed twice a day. And you gotta give your skin a couple of skin cycles. So maybe 2 months, 2 to 3 months, you really see a big difference.
Nice.
So zinc picolinate, spearmint tea, but you want to be sure that it's actually hormonal acne. Like my friend Joanne here, we've became friends through working together or working on her skin. We realized a lot of it was hormonal acne, but she was also experiencing fungal acne, and that's a whole nother situation. But it's good to really have a professional help you identify what it is. She actually figured it out on her own because she's super smart. But back to hormonal acne. Also, if you have like a very cystic, inflamed area, you never want to pick, but actually if you hold an ice cube up to it, if it's like actually inflamed, it will help bring down the inflammation.
Yeah, I remember you told me that, and like ever since then I started doing it and it actually works. So
yeah.
Great.
And then also, like I do always have a spot treatment that I'll use regularly. You want to use a lot of antibacterial ingredients and anti-inflammatory since cystic acne is usually very inflamed.
Cool.
Oh, and for the tea, you have to consume it. You don't apply it topically. Same with zinc. It needs to be orally consumed, and because sometimes zinc is in skincare products topically, but it's much more effective orally.
Perfect. I also wanted to mention that
2 times a day.
Crystal's getting like the whole, she's writing this stuff down.
Yeah.
So because of the whole pandemic that's happening right now, something that you've been doing, which is really awesome, and like what even brought like my attention to you, or your attention to me, was that you are conducting virtual consultations for skincare consultations. Do you want to just talk about kind of like how you got to there and how you're kind of running your business now that, because your service is usually like hands-on, how you're dealing with the whole COVID pandemic and finding solutions for that?
So this was a great opportunity for me. I did not expect to even do this. Actually, somebody reached out to me and she was like, would you do like a skincare consultation with me? I should hook her up because I was just thinking about this.
Give her like percent. Yeah.
Yeah, she reached out to me and like, and anyway, the difference between me and like some other facials you might get is like I really spend too much time. I give like too much of myself, but I'd rather do that, you know, and make sure I gave it like 100%. I don't care. Like I want that person to know that I'm there to like be there for them.
Right.
But I already would like stay in touch with all my clients and like be there, you know, any questions they had, like we stay in touch. Anyway, so somebody asked like, can we do a skincare consultation? I'll pay you for your time. And I was like, yeah, shit. Like, what should I charge them? I feel bad because I would do this all the time. So I decided, you know what, since everyone's getting unemployed, I know a lot of people charge like 100 or more. That's like the main price. I was like, I'm going to do 65 because everyone's struggling right now. And I'm just, you know, hopefully, I didn't even know if people would do it.
Right.
So it ended up keeping me busy every single day. I'm like so grateful.
Yeah. So what do you do? Is it like a video type of consultation? Okay. Cool.
Okay. So no, it's not video. And why it's not video is because I don't want to like, you can't really get a real sense of someone's skin that way. Basically, we'll hop on a Google Doc. So we'll be on the Google Doc live and then we'll be messaging. I'll get them on WhatsApp and we'll be voice messaging back and forth. The first thing I ask them is, of course, what are your main concerns with your skin? Send me close-up photos if you don't mind, and also show me absolutely everything that you're using. Tell me how often you're using it, because some people you might find that they're using this exfoliant twice a day, and I'm like, you know.
Yeah. So we're not supposed to be doing that. I'm just kidding. Like,
well, I mean, I have a client who's a model, and she would go to rescue spa, super luxurious. Like they have biologique research, which I love P50, but they will, you know, they're telling they want to churn that stuff out like hotcakes. They're like, use it twice a day. Very European. It's just like, yeah, it really it messes up your skin barrier, and you know that's going to do a lot of damage. And if anyone has questions about that, just reach out, because it's a very common thing. I see it, you know, with a lot of clients. When you over exfoliate, you can end up overproducing oil. And getting more congestion. And I had a client once who was like, I look so greasy. I don't understand why. And I was like, how often are you exfoliating? And she was like, oh, I use it pretty much every day. Even every day. I was like, oh, right? I mean, like people who use it, like Stephanie knows, it's insane. It's crazy, but people don't know. And it bothers me because they're going to you to trust you. You're a professional. So it just like drives me. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel like I definitely got a lot of clarity after speaking to you, and also just like there was stuff that I was already doing right, but it was nice to kind of like get this reassurance that about my skin, and to like just like furthering it, making sure that I'm doing the right thing. So definitely Cali's the one to go to for
yeah, and like I want people to know and like be able to, you know, be confident in what they have at home and why they're using it, and not like trick you and make you feel like you need me.
Right.
Which I feel like, you know, some people could maybe do if they want.
Oh, sorry, I lost you for a little bit.
Yeah, somebody just called.
So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, I think we're nearing up to the end. But let's see. Somebody asked, what do you do about butt pimples?
I have, you know, I deal with them. You definitely you want to. I deal with it. Well, first of all, you better be similar to like chest and boob pimples. Like you can't wear the same bra like a couple days in a row.
Yeah.
You have to consistently change. You have to make sure you're washing your body once a day. But also, you want to get you want to get an antibacterial exfoliating wash
Okay.
that contains ingredients that will help to eliminate that bacteria.
Cool. What's your cat's name?
Patty.
Patty. Patty wants to.
Patty.
Cool. Well, yeah, you guys, I think we're nearing the end of this, but I just want to thank you for hopping on here. It's always really helpful speaking to you and talking to you about skincare. It's definitely opened my eyes to realizing what I need for my skin. So and I also want to just like promote going to you during this time. If you guys want to go for skin consultations, definitely hit up Cali and visit her Instagram page. You can find her information there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much, Cali.
Wow. So good to talk to you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.